Hi there YouTube, Mr. Glover here. Just looking at some events coming up. The current date is 27th of June 2017, and today there's an event that's happening later on at 1800 UTC in Berlin. That's Berlin and Warsaw. Click on there and you can read a little bit more about the event. But we assume that it's between 1800 and 2100 UTC between Berlin Tegel and Warsaw. One thing that I do sometimes like to do is just to have a look at FlightAware to see if there's any aircraft that might be flying that, any call signs that we might be interested in doing. I personally won't be flying this one since it's about 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning my time. But for those interested, flightaware.com, and you can search flights between them. Obviously we've got Air Berlin flying between those two locations, Dash 8 Q400s generally. You could of course take a fictional route, there's no issues doing that. Then here we have Odessa Overload, that's on Friday, 1600, that'll be 2 AM on Saturday my time. It's in the Ukraine, UKOO to UKOH. Much the same. I'll have a look at these IK codes, UKOO and UKOH. I'm unlikely to wake up at 2 in the morning since I've got a doctor's appointment the next day, and it appears that there's no aircraft that actually fly that particular route. But you could perhaps choose to fly into Kiev from somewhere else, like I don't know, Moscow or Vienna, somewhere in Turkey, somewhere nearby. Go back and have a look at this. Salam Qatar. It's on the same day, almost the same time. Slightly shorter event, 30 minutes shorter, but it is Karachi to Doha. Doha being in Qatar and Karachi being in Pakistan. I believe that's a fairly common route at the moment. You're probably seeing a lot of aircraft from both Pakistani Airways and Qatar Airways flying that. Let's have a look. OPKC to OTHH. And there we go, Qatar Airways flying 777-300 ERs. I'd be certainly flying that if I was doing that event, which I won't be, but going to be an option. Airbus A330s, 787s, and that seems to be the case there. Oman Air have a connection through Muscat on a Boeing 737 and an E130. But yeah, for the most part, I'd imagine the 777 will be a popular one on that event. These events are through Vatsim, and generally I find the ones that make the front page here on Vatsim. It's vatsim.net/events. They tend to be fairly well manned. Here we have Northeastern Corridor between Boston and New York at time 2300 UTC on the Friday, which effectively comes 11:10, 9 AM for me. I'll be literally at the doctor's at that time, but it goes for about 4 hours. I might be able to get back for the tail end of it, maybe. I hope I do, because it's a nice flight, that one, Boston down to New York. They're suggesting Newark, EWR, rather than JFK, so it'll be quite an interesting flight down there. Once again, probably a lot of aircraft, probably small aircraft this time, like E-jets and that kind of stuff. Let's have a look. KBOS to KEWR. Go ahead and search that one. There we go. JetBlue has an E190. United has a 737, 700 and 800. And that tends to be the recycling events. So you'd probably go ahead and fly that. The good thing with the aircraft flying through the United States, you actually get the full flight plan if you select a flight that's currently in the air or was recently in the air. You'll get to see the full flight plan here, PATS 4, PATS, Nelly, Flossie 3. And one assumes that those aircraft also make a return journey. Going to go ahead and head back to the main page. Saturday, 1st of July at 0500. We'd call that Sunday in Australia. So 0500 would be 543 in the afternoon in Melbourne. Auckland Virtual Ops. I think it's just a hub. So it's New Zealand, Auckland, and various airports around it. Airlines TBA, you can do bookings for that event. One assumes that they'll have all the air traffic control for Auckland, possibly for Wellington as well. And yeah, this is also the same weekend, is it? I believe so. Yep. It's a Mercy flight. I don't know much about this one. Something about Liverpool, 1700, 7655, 3 a.m. for me. It's a bit early in the morning for something that's rather small. And this is also by the looks of it, a single airport event. So I'll probably get approach tower and ground at Liverpool, maybe one of the London centres. But it is middle of European peak time, so you're probably going to get places like London Heathrow and Amsterdam and all that kind of stuff too. I've seen this one popping around. It's a VFR event in Jordan. There's special scenery for it, but that's next week. Finally, I'm going to have a look at my own calendar. Here is VRoute. Now, any things that pop up at VRoute will pop up here. We can see some repeats. For instance, that in Mercy Night is there again. The Auckland Virtual Ops is there again. We have VAT France Online Day. That looks like it might be interesting to have a look at. And the time there is 1900 UTC. That's 7 p.m. UTC. 5 a.m. in Australia. That's weekly in France. It's basically the several things, a pilot briefing, VFR and IFR. It's basically the standard online day for France. And I've just got that France website with all the charts on it. That's cool. Mocked on Monday, 2200 on Monday. And also we'll have Mook on Monday, which is 0900 on Monday. That's probably something I need to look at as well, which is VAT USA. There's the Northeastern Corridor event we were looking at before, but we fall off the end of the calendar and into summer in the Windy City, which obviously is Chicago. Chicago has ATC on from 23:30 up to 03:30, which is 9:30 my time on a Sunday, so I might actually be able to get to that one. Full ATC services O'Hare and Midway, which is basically Chicago and other parts of Chicago. Not sure if there's going to be any one around it, but sometimes with those Chicago events you might see something like Toronto online or somewhere further south like Louisville. Yeah, this is the VAT USA calendar, so it's vatusa.net/forums, then click on the calendar link. So that's it for this week and weekend, which is probably the most important part. Also, of course, we have Mock Run Monday. That happens every Monday on Vatpac, should I say. Gonna pick up the Vatpac forum. And we have a calendar here, which is on the main website. You can see my avatar over there. So we pop down here, see the event calendar. And we have the VFR. Guys are doing Broome to Headland and back. So Broome to Headland on Friday. That's 8 p.m. our time. UTC time would be 10 a.m. UTC. Out of Broome and a VFR flight down there with the probably no ATC, maybe a tower at Broome, and most likely all on the TeamSpeak for separation. There we have Milk Run Monday. I've got all events. Milk Run Monday is every Monday at 09:30 or so, and it's usually the Sydney to Melbourne, Melbourne to Sydney run. After Milk Run Monday is Australia Online at does usually take a little while to get going on that one. People tend to not be at home on Tuesdays apparently, but the next week, which is Tuesday the 4th, 0900 UTC, which is about 8 PM Australian time, we're heading down to Launceston. Also note Devonport there, because there is a great Devonport scenery, and Devonport doesn't have a tower in the real world, so you would be able to travel down there with nothing but Melbourne Tas Centre online and make a realistic CTAF approach into Devonport. Burnie's there as well, which is Wynyard Burnie. So Devonport has Dash 8s going in there from QantasLink. Burnie has the sub SF340s from Rex. And Launceston, of course, has all manner of things such as Jetstar A320s and Qantas 717s and Virgin Australia 737s. So yeah, up to Melbourne, which is the usual stepping off point, unless you want to do something local, which is possible. Pop around the Cessna or something like that, go up the coastline. There's a couple of airports up here. Georgetown is a good airport. It's not there in the default settings, but it is part of the OZX scenery. Devonport, obviously from OZX as well, as pretty much all the airports around Tasmania are these days. And you can possibly even go up to Flinders Island and pop around up there. Anyhow, that's the weekend review for Vatpac and Vatsim, totally. So my suggestion is always keep ahead of events. Look at the upcoming events calendar. That's vatsim.net/events, and also perhaps look around on the regional calendars, Vat USA and Vatpac. That tends to be how I'm doing my thing. And with that, I'll make an idea of what I want to fly, if I can get up in the morning or whatever it happens to be. Weekends tend to be the best time for me because I have Saturdays and Sundays off. I'm not working on Saturdays and Sundays. Just happens to be that this week I have a commitment in the morning on Saturday, so I probably won't be able to make the Friday night ops for Vat USA, but I can probably make that Windy City one. So I'll probably put in some effort to get to that one, and usually I'll look at serve info to see what air traffic control is online just before I'm about to go. Obviously you can have a look at, for instance, America over here. I've got Chicago, which is the bottom end of Lake Michigan there, and you can see all the places that attaches to. Indianapolis was probably an obvious one, and Minneapolis, Kansas City. I doubt that Kansas City will be online. Indianapolis tends to be a little bit quiet. These guys are on quite a bit, and with any luck we'll get Cleveland or something online, otherwise we'll just have to pod around doing VFR. And that doesn't make a great video, but you can still interact with ATC. Anyway, hope you have a great weekend coming up on Vatsim, and hope you've spotted some events that you'd like to attend. I'm sure that you can visit the forums and find some more. If you do find one that you suspect will be interesting for anyone watching this video or myself, and leave a comment below, and people can read that and show up to your event. The best events, of course, are those with air traffic control. Basically, air traffic control makes the event. If we have 5 controllers pop online and 2 different airports, so you get like a tower and 2 towers, 2 approaches and the centre between them, then that's an event. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and with any luck I'll be making these kinds of videos once a week or so, just about the oncoming weekend and events that are interesting. Catch you guys next time.